on God.
So you're right. It's not ideology to the extent that in the greatest commandment, Jesus didn't even command us to love ourselves. He just assumed it.
He assumed you would.
Yeah. So I tell people like, yo, love God and love your neighbor. That's the greatest commandment. Love yourself is the greatest assumption. It's the basis for all the other stuff. So I posted a video recently. Like RuPaul knows more about the gospel than most Christians, because RuPaul will close out RuPaul's Drag Race with how the hell you gonna love somebody else and you don't love yourself. That's the gospel. You can't love somebody else in a way you don't love yourself. And so my entire theology, everything revolves around your love for God is expressed in how you love your neighbor. Your love for your neighbor is a reflection of how you love yourself. And if you don't believe in God, because like my digital church is only like a third Christian. Most of them don't identify as Christian. So I got some atheists and some agnostics. I'm like, look, if you don't believe in God, just love your neighbor as yourself. We good.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, we all need to develop a love for self. But in church, we were taught that was negative. That was bad. Like, no, that's arrogant. That's pride. Pride goes before the fall. It's like, that's such a warped, distorted way to look at the world where I'm not allowed to love myself.
Well, but it's also a very effective tool for control.
Absolutely.
So this is where you get people saying, I'm Christian first. I'm Christian before I'm black. Well, shit, the Klan was Christian too.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them Klan rallies was happening in the church.
Yeah.
So then what you think about that? You know what I'm saying? Like, because you can't show up to the same church. If church is segregated, I remember James Baldwin said this. High noon on a Sunday is the biggest segregation that you ever going to experience in this country. Just due to the way church is segregated.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I grew up in a black church. I went to a church with one of my homeboys one time. I got like a white dude that I used to work with, Rick Bell. Shout out my boy Rick Bell. This still my partner to this day. But he went to like one of these white churches that's just like, I don't know, bro. I don't know how to describe it. It's a mega church. Niggas in there just having a ball. You know what I'm saying? They playing a guitar. They doing all that. And I'm like, this shit odd, bro. Like, shit feel like a concert.
Yeah. I
don't want to be in here. But I respect why y'all here. But it's like, hella members. Like, there's nothing personal about this. Mm-hmm. Where I come from the church where it's like, shit, you know everybody. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And even the people you don't know, you know. Because you see them every Sunday. Mm-hmm. And that's another thing that you start to see happening to get a little cliquey. You know Absolutely. What I mean? But I think I stole this from Jerry Springer. How we end our show is like, take care of yourself and then take care of each other. You know what I'm saying? But the self come first. Like, if you ain't loving on yourself, bro, you can't love nobody else. Not properly.
That's the greatest commandment.
Yeah.
That I tell people all the time, self-love is the core of the gospel. But we were taught the exact opposite. And the whole thing about being a Christian before you black, you know, first of all, I just hate that so much. Like, I don't even identify as Christian. I'm a pastor who does not identify as a Christian. I identify as a spiritual humanist. And I just so happen to be influenced and inspired by the way of Jesus. And of course, my study is in that. That's my faith tradition of origin. I pastor Christians, but like, I just don't feel a connection to that term at this stage in my life. And not because of Jesus, but more so because of his fan base. His fan base is trash.
Yeah, because you can't call them followers because they ain't following.
No, they're not.
They just fans of the work.
Exactly.
They just like the work, but they ain't following.
They like the brand.
Yeah,
they like the brand. I tell people all the time, Jesus is not a messiah for most Christians. He's a mascot.
Yeah.
Because you can take Jesus and apply his name to whatever bigotry you wanna justify. And that's the problem that I see, is that too many people confuse the name of Jesus with the way of Jesus. So when you talk about the Klan and the Klan rallies, and you talk about like white church people going to church on Sunday morning and then going to a public lynching of a black man right after church, right? That was a part of their tradition, right? That's confusing the name of Jesus with the way of Jesus, because they just apply the name to whatever they want to apply it to.
Sanitize the behavior.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We'll use Jesus's name to sanitize and justify whatever the hell we want to do. But when you get into the way of Jesus, and it's love your neighbor as yourself, Like, I'm gonna do right by you because I'm doing right by myself, and I expect you to do right by me. And that's just for all of us, regardless of where we come from, what we believe. I hold on to shared values over shared beliefs.
For sure.
And like you were saying earlier, like, that's a value. It's not an ideology.